What is going on, everybody? It is Antonius the Gamer, Mikkel Smith, Super SSS rank, and we are back for another anime corner. Now, I hope everyone who's been keeping up to date so far has enjoyed our Dragon Ball series. Like we said on the last entry, that is the last one for now as far as the original Dragon Ball movies. But we figured we'd do something special in light of a release that is happening the day of this recording. So us being raised in the 90s, we lived in a blessed time, right? Where a lot of all your spin-offs and all your reboots and all these things that are being inspired now laid their roots. One of those things being the superior Mon series out of the two in the 90s, Digimon.
Are you saying that Digimon is better than Pokemon?
Oh, absolutely, definitively. Even Tim, who is a resident Pokemon defender, will tell you that Digimon has better writing than
Anime
Pokemon.
wise, okay.
Yeah. Now, Digimon to me has always been that series that kind of defeats itself, where it's like if you just had some level of consistency in your writing, you would have been up there, one of the greats. But as time went on, you know, them being not afraid to try something new was both their gift and their curse at a certain point. So, you got your Digimon as your partner, and the Digimon are merging. Then you're merging with the Digimon. Then you are the Digimon, and it just kind of got to a point where you're like, all right, we have pushed it as far as we can go. But before it got to all of that, creative choices, let's just call it, there was, in response to the Pokemon movie, to be fair, there was the release of the Digimon movie. Now, for those that don't know, the Digimon movie in America was actually just a compilation of smaller movies in Japan that were all kind of edited together. So, in a lot of ways, Digimon movie is a Fox Kids creation. It's almost like a Fox Kids original. Like a lot of the plot lines that attach in the Digimon movie is not anywhere to be seen in the original films, which I thought was pretty interesting. So even on the re-release where they remastered it and put it on Blu-ray, they have like the uncut version of all three original movies where you can see it dubbed with all the footage that was left on the cutting room floor and all that. And I gotta say, after watching it, I think they did a really good job with the American movie. You're not missing much with the uncut. There's a little bit more violence, of course, because Digimon was never really truly kid friendly. And there's, a couple more mature themes, I would say, for the age we were at the time. But for the most part, the movies are still pretty one for one, especially the Diaboromon portion. It's basically a one for one. They knew where the bread was going to be buttered.
Diaboromon, that's the digital, the virus, right?
The digital virus.
Okay.
So before we kickstart into our breakdown, just
the original Deoxys.
Oh, wow. Pew, 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 pew. Shots fired.
So I got a knife for these things, guys. I'm not going to be a number one manga artist for no reason, guys. Trust me. I got stuff cooking.
So in the original overlay of the movie, we get like a prelude to the original Digimon series where we see where, although it's alluded to and kind of referenced here and there within the original series, we get to actually see the Digidestin's first interaction with the Digimon. It ends up being a massive version of Agumon who turns into Greymon, fights Parrotmon. And from there, they transition into the present day, or which it takes place, because I think Digimon Season 2 had just kind of started in America. Mm-hmm. So this was like an epilogue for the original Digimon adventure for us who had kind of been there from the start of the series. So, of course, all the Digidestin are a little bit older, but not as old as they are in Season 2. And like Jory said, there's a virus on the internet that infects a Digi-Egg, and Ty, Izzy, Matt, TK are kind of sent into the internet, or their Digimon are sent into the internet to try to stop this virus. And it's a movie. It is a movie. Of course, we're going to go into detail very shortly, but a lot of things that you would not have expected from this series take place. You wouldn't expect 12-year-olds to be stopping nukes, but anime, right? Um,
That's the smartest 10-year-old I've ever seen in my life. Give Izzy a Nobel Peace
right.
Prize, dog.
Hacker of the year, yo.
God, man. What's the buddy name on in Matrix, man?
oh,
Matrix Revolution. It was
oh
Dizzy.
man,
Then you had oh
what was his
man, yeah,
name?
it escapes me,
Cipher?
man. Not
Was
Cypher,
it?
man.
It wasn't Cipher.
The second one, the one that was
The
married to the
brothers.
brother that died.
I don't remember the names, but the brothers,
It's
the two
right
brothers.
there.
Yeah.
No, from the second movie, he took over. It was Dozer, Izzy, and he
Yeah,
took
the
over.
younger
I
brother
don't know
took.
if
Oh, oh,
the
oh.
boyfriend, the boyfriend.
Yes, with the dreads.
Yes. Oh
Okay,
man.
we're getting completely off topic, but I know you're talking
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's gonna bother me too.
yeah.
Yeah, he's better than him.
20 times better.
So then
Man
we get
had
to the
dial up
third movie.
email, man. Was
We
just
get
doing
to
this
the
on
third
dial up.
movie where the current Digidestined at that time take over. Davis, Yoli, Cody, TK, Kari, and in this movie they're introduced to Willis, who one of his Digimon is infected by the virus, becomes Cocomon, and they try to help Willis kind of rein Cocomon back in and eliminate the virus from his body. And that is essentially the movie in a very, 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 very quick summary. So, what did you guys think about this movie? Whoever
What you
wants to start.
put? No.
2 for 2, man. 2 for 2, man. To me, both movies were great. There were highlights
Mm,
that, of course, us in our age seeing the presence of Omnimon was, I don't know what else to tell you. And then you have, I really don't know what else to tell you. The thing is, season 2 was bittersweet for me. I wasn't really ready to say goodbye to my favorite original cast. No War
mm,
Greymon, no Agumon, no Tai, no Garurumon. It was bittersweet, man. I didn't. It took a while for me to get used to Davis. I didn't think Vmon was better than Agumon, so I had a grudge against him. Like, yo,
okay.
you supposed to replace Tai? Feel me? Excuse me.
Mm,
You're supposed to replace Ty, and why isn't TK getting any any love, man? You know,
mm,
uh, and so stuff like that kind of made me a little bit angry. But I would say Stingmon and the Golden Digi eggs were a different twist, and it wasn't something we didn't know we needed. A
mm-hmm.
bunny rabbit with guns, didn't know we needed
Sure.
that, man. I mean, that was
Yeah.
character design wise, animation wise, and that rabbit had a lot of personality, man.
Mm-hmm.
I
Terriermon.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Terrier, man. I mean, it was going back and forth, man. The way the movie came to about, one of the highlights is when Izzy got everybody to stop emailing to so that they could move to complete the mission, so they could
Mm-hmm.
move because everybody was emailing at the same time. And the unity, man, and not only that, the Q music, that music right there was the theme song for every kid in the 90s, man. No
Yeah.
matter who you were, where you were coming from, man. You heard that song, man. You knew what time was as a kid. Hey, white kid from Sarasota, Florida. You know it's time. We got to make this happen. We got
Doom,
to
doom,
make this
doom, doom,
happen.
doom, doom. Oh, oh. Here we go.
That was our Burning Man theme song, man. You feel me? That was our Burning Man. You couldn't tell us nothing, man. Man, I'm having me stand up eating Cheerios, and I heard the call. Oh,
As soon as it kicked on, you knew what time.
Boy, I pull out my skateboard goggles, dog. You know
Oh
what I'm
my
saying? I'm
goodness.
ready. I'm ready, man. It was just, and then you had a community at school. You go back to the lunchroom, which was like the bar for us. After PE, you go to
Mm-hmm.
lunch. We're at the guys' table. Hey, did you guys see the Digimon movie? You saw the Digimon movie? And we huddling around each other like a fire. Tell me what happened. And we're listening to the story, and you're just, man, thanks for sharing that with us, man. That movie to me was just more communicative than people would realize, man.
Mm-hmm.
The animation, I couldn't believe what I was it was like they were pouring Visine in my eyes. I said, Mom, Yeah, thank you. I left with an accomplishment, man. Just I watched the Digimon movie, guys. And then
Yeah.
seeing animation like that, I didn't even know what to do with. Didn't even know it was possible.
It was one of
I
the
didn't.
first movies my parents ever let me see by myself. Like my mom dropped me off at the theater, and I was just, and she was like, "Oh, how was it?" I said, "Mom,
Yo, what you
it was
talking about,
everything.
bro? You left
It
with
was
that. You were walking
everything."
outside and you were like,
Right? Should I lie and tell her that it's even that there was a delay and walk back in and watch it again?
man, no, that movie was great, man. A lot of the character designs and just how you know what I liked about part two, man? The themes were darker, but I felt it's like I somewhat understood what was the Pokemon, not Pokemon, I said the Digimon was going through, man. They did like a great, they did a great way of expressing that theme to someone like me for the second film. Um,
Hmm?
but this movie right here, man, seeing War Greymon, and then the art direction that they chose for this, man.
Yeah, it's a
I
completely different
mean,
animation style, and it's to kind of piggyback off of when we did our coverage on Janemba. Like the way they depict the internet in this movie is like it's something you've never seen before, but also the exact thing you would imagine. Of like if I had to think of what the internet looked like at this time, like this is exactly what I would think of, like an information highway, a space where there's just data moving around constantly because of
moving
course it
around,
is.
going to this portal and to that portal,
Mm-hmm. This portal leads you to this website. There's an exit. There's an X tab. There's. I'm just like, man. Oh.
and all being navigated by a 10-year-old named Izzy.
who blazed the trail for the importance of an Ethernet cable. Like that Wi-Fi will not always
Jeez,
carry you. Where's your
boy,
landline?
man. And I think you know what I also appreciated about that there was like slice of life episodes, man, slice of life segments that
Yep.
just
Yep.
if you didn't show me anything else and I didn't get the action I wanted, seeing how Ty was a responsible big brother to his sister, I was put to shame, man.
Mm-hmm.
I said, man, though, he a better man than me, man. And you're coaching me with this. You're coaching to me with this as a 10-year-old, man. And just the animation and just seeing Agumon and him just experiencing Agumon and the friendship. You see how deep the friendship is,
Mm-hmm.
and you see Agumon's personality. Like Agumon is a very there's like an innocence to him, but he's very competent,
Yes.
and I
Yeah.
and it's like it's never a personality that people will usually put at the forefront, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have Agumon be like the comedic relief and but what drives Agumon is his compassion.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't make the compassion aspect look corny, but then you see that the compassion and courage, what it actually what it grows into. I don't know if they were intentionally trying to do that, but for me, that's what I took from it when I go into my deep dives about Agumon's character when he turns into Lord Greymon, and I'm like, man, this is nobility at its finest.
I think so. I think like when
Yeah.
they talk about the themes like their crests, like I think that was a reflection of what that Digimon was supposed to be for that human. Of like, here's what it
Mm,
means to truly have courage. Here's what it means to truly be a friend. Here's what it means to truly have hope. To what all the other ones that they had, dependability and all those other different things. I think they were supposed to like complement each other in that way. So let's kind of like go segment by segment. The first part, the prequel when they're kids. Like, what were your guys' thoughts about that?
It was an appetizer because remember they only really focused on well the most people who got the most I would say screen time was Ty and Kari
Mm-hmm.
because everything was around them. Like Ty receives this egg, the egg grows up a little bit, and next thing you know, here comes this Godzilla mini showdown in the street.
Basically.
Yeah, and you see cameos of the other characters, and it kind of transcends to when they get older. Like, hey, did you wait? You saw it too? Wait,
Mm-hmm.
huh? And then you realize they all have been chosen for some quest. So, like I said, it was really an appetizer, almost like a prelude to basically what the main series was going to be.
Mm-hmm. I think
And then,
the
of
the God.
course,
Oh, go ahead.
yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say I think the Godzilla comparison was perfectly well put. Like going back to what Joy said about the animation, there's something about like seeing that overhead shot of when Agumon turns into Greymon and he's like towering over Ty and Kyrie to like protect them. I was like, I can't believe what I'm watching. I'm watching T-Rex Mon fight the giant bird, and did he just blow
And
off
who
his
doesn't
wing?
like and who doesn't love T-Rexes, right?
Yeah. How, like there's that level of scale of like to think of like it's one of those things where like as a kid you're seeing something special, and then when you get older you're able to see why of like this is why animation is important, because there's this scale to it of like I don't know how else to explain what it would be like for like an 8-year-old to see a gigantic dinosaur towering over him and his sister, right? There's no other way for me to explain it other than to show you this shot, or like Agumon, shooting fireballs into the sky as a plane goes by, because of course he doesn't know what a plane is, right? It's just like, man, yeah, like this all just makes sense. I don't know how else to put it. So yeah,
Mm.
I think what you said, Tim, is true. Like it's an appetizer, but in the best kind of way. Of like
Yeah, great setup.
you
Very
go
good
back to him
setup.
like I don't even feel like I need to skip this. Really, I'm just like I will just watch it. It's not very long. It's not a very long prelude. I think it's maybe 20 minutes, and it's just like, yeah, I will see Ty blow the whistle, hear the music cut in, see Grandma's eye open, and just go crazy.
Yeah, because like, bro, you didn't really have to like overextend it. Like, this is not something that you just prolong. It's like short and sweet to the point. It's a soft introduction when you really look
Yeah.
at it to
Mm-hmm.
what
Yeah.
Digimon is. These are digital monsters, and sometimes in this particular city, hey, something might happen. Like, because when you really look at it, Digimon also has, well, I guess Bleach kind of got this idea from them. Here comes this Japanese city. Oh yeah, at a certain hour of the day, some monsters will come out,
Mm-hmm.
and who's going to fight them?
Yeah.
Other monsters, other
Yeah.
monsters. So it take you in order to fight monsters, you need monsters.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a very good introduction, and as things transferred over, I would say to the next movie, um, I loved it. I really did loved it. Like how you just said earlier about like how the internet was described. Even when Jory mentioned earlier, while they was fighting, all these kids just kept emailing like, "Bro, be quiet.
Yeah.
You're slowing them down. We don't care about do an uppercut. We don't
Dog,
care."
talk about getting angry. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
No, but then it also it shows you how the internet even works in this modern day,
It
Yeah.
when
does, right?
Mm-hmm.
in terms of like unnecessary comments,
Yes.
and it slows down the actual progress
Of conversation, of things that
of
need to
of
happen.
conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So like it was great, man. It was really truly great. And then the icing on the cake was the fusion, the fusion
Of
of
course. Of
yeah.
course. Of course, right? Again,
You hearing Goku could do it, then they said, we can do it too.
and it's gonna look like this. The most amazing thing the thing you would have never imagined. Of like, I don't know why Wargreymon and Metalgremon's head on his hands works, but
Oh,
okay.
and let's give him
No,
a cape and a
and
Yeah.
get
sword.
no, but you know what was the true icing on the cake? The name Omni.
Yeah.
Omnimon,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
It's like where do you go? Where else do you go from that?
Yeah.
Even other fusions that they did down the line, like no, bro, y'all didn't have
It
the
don't.
name.
It didn't. Yeah,
It's cool,
It didn't
but
hit the
it ain't
same.
this. Yeah.
It
Yeah,
ain't hit the same. Pyudramon was fire,
He was.
but it's not
It
the
ain't
same.
this. Yeah.
It's not the same. It's not. It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
yeah, and then even with that movie, it's it was truly something special. It was really something special for the time being. Like, 'cause, there was always some heavy comparisons between Digimon and Pokemon back then, but I kind of just felt like people just did not really respect the art of what Digimon was back then, and what was
Mm-hmm.
it truly trying to be. Like, even when Jory mentioned the original Deoxys, I was like, "Yo, he's right. He is right."
They've been copying homework for a long time, Tim.
And then
Like like
but then the crazy thing about it was Gen 3 wasn't even out yet. So that means, yeah, once again, Digimon did it first, and then
Hmm.
Pokemon just followed up later. Um, yeah, bro,
the only thing you could probably argue is Agumon and Mailwhack.
No, yeah,
Greymon and
it's
Mailwhack. You
you
can.
can't deny that there's certain things that
I'm telling you, I
inspired.
got an
Right?
eye,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah. I'm saying
I
like
got an eye, kid.
there's no way you can sit there and say that.
you know why he's right, because Marowak actually has dragon Pokemon moves.
Yeah. Again, it works both ways, but we know who copied who the most, is what
Oh,
I'll
and
say.
we know who did it better.
Yeah, for the
You
most,
feel me?
yeah, in almost every
No, no,
scenario.
no,
Yeah,
no. Yeah,
because
yeah.
even
Respect, color.
yeah,
Yeah.
even to your point about the slice of life stuff, it's like one of the things that when I was rewatching it that pointed out to me, it's like it's very reflective of that time in someone's life, right? You're in middle school, and it's not that you're not friends with your elementary school friends anymore, but you guys have activities. It's summer. This person went to go, stay with their aunt and uncle for the summer. This person's traveling this summer. This person's at a sleepover. Like I don't have time to save the digital world with you today. I have real world things going on. Or what happens when there is now this romantic tension between you and your homie, your girl that like, you would have never looked at that way, but now y'all getting older, and it's like, is this friendship or is this more? Like there was all those subtle things of like, this is a natural progression of age of like you're friends, but you're starting to find out your own interests that kind of like send y'all on separate
Hmm.
paths. But also, that they're going to be there when you really need them.
Yeah,
So like there was that aspect of it too.
yeah, because it really showed you, man, life is still moving.
Mm-hmm.
Life is still moving whether you like it. Because, even though we had a good amount of ventures with them as kids, when you really look at the layouts of each arc that they went from, I was like, wow, bro, like it was to the point.
Mm-hmm.
It was to the point, and when you really look at it, it's like, yeah, bro, you can't prolong this forever. Like after a while, you have to just grow up. But
Yeah.
then, what does growing up mean? And like I said, bro, like Digimon had that real like that type of narrative, man. Because yeah, Agumon, I'm glad that you're here, but bro, I gotta go to school.
Right. I got class. Yeah.
Yeah.
My
So
mom needs me to help her take out this. I got to go here. Like I can't. I can't.
yeah,
So yeah, I think that part of it was really again amazing. I think there's so many things like you said, Tim. With this second part is just it's just different. Like I don't think it makes the first or the third any worse. Although I would argue that when we start talking about the third part of the movie, it gets a little disjointed. But I think the second movie just kind of perfectly encapsulates everything of like the spectacle, right? Of like again, just the shots of like when they're like, okay, we're gonna go try to kill Diaboromon, and they go into the room and you see him crawling over himself like cockroaches. Like it just pans out and you see the kids looking around and they can't. It's just like I lost count. I don't know how many of them there are at this point, and you're just like, again, it felt like a movie. You're like, yo, what
Yeah.
are they going to
The
do?
stakes just kept ramping up,
What are
kept
they gonna do?
cloning.
Like again, you don't expect a nuke in a kids movie, but at the same time, it's just like it didn't feel what's the word I'm looking for? Exaggerated, if that makes sense.
hmm
Like you're hearing it happen, and it's like, yeah, that doesn't seem too far fetched. Of course, he would hack the government and do these things because why not? And of course, he would aim the nuke in their neighborhood to kill them because they're trying to kill him. It's like, yo, man, crazy. Of course, like he will go after Patamon before he can Digivolve because we all knew from watching the series, Angemon is a problem. You don't want Angemon to show up if you're a virus Digimon. That's the last thing you want to do because
yeah,
he's a vaccine.
yeah, and no, even like how you just said, the terminologies. I think it was called data vaccine virus.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Like it was the terminology, because it kind of reminded me of reboot. Like reboot
Mm.
had like computer terms that, bro, like how
Man,
do you how
before
do
his
you
time.
understand these things, man? So they were great. They were really great. The one thing I about the third movie, what it reminded me of It reminded me of the crossroads from red, blue, yellow to gold and silver, like
Hmm.
Kanto to Johto. Like, because, the show made, I mean, sorry to get into Pokemon, but the show they made it seem like Kanto and Johto are like separate. But no, you find out they're on the same continent.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like, there's literally a border between them. And that's how it kind of felt like from when it went from the first Digidestin to the next one. It was like Kanto and Johto, like the next generation of things. Like, when Gold fought Red type of thing. So, and even with the introduction of Willis, is like that opened up their minds to other things. Like, wow, there's Digidestin in other countries.
Yeah.
Oh, so we know. Oh, we not special no more.
You're special here, but
Yeah, somebody got a blue Agumon. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
And even with like how they evolved, like it was just a new method, like armored digivolve. But then after a while, they also had to like go back to the old ways of like, no,
Mm-hmm.
we can't rely on these things forever because there is only one stage with them. So we
Yeah.
had to increase our levels to like just like how they did and stuff like that. And then it just fusion dance, and next thing you know, it was just all over the place. I mean, it was interesting to see Kai, not TK and Kari get mega forms.
Out of that, even as a kid, I was like, they could do this the whole time. Why didn't they just?
But
Why
it
didn't
was
they
it
just
was
beat
it was
them?
it was very random though.
Yeah.
It was very very random because, and that's what one thing about Digimon I didn't like that, bro. It was kind of like I guess this was before the big three anime concept. It was right back in the day. It was the big two.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, pretty
like with
much.
that particular journey, it became Davis and what's the little boy name was Stingmon?
Cody.
Cody.
Oh,
No,
you mean with Stingmon, Ken?
yeah. It just became about them two. And then, if it was, because I guess, TK and Kari was still considered like the old and the young, because they were the youngest members of the first group, so they transferred over to the next one. It's like they were kind of like the half and half big two as well.
Yeah.
But it's just like, okay, so what about everybody else? I mean, I want to see I want to see what Cody could do fully. I would like to see what Yoli could do as well. But it was
I
just
mean,
like,
a
okay,
snowman with a rocket launcher is actually kind of fire. A bear snowman, that was
No,
actually
of
raw.
course. But I think what Tim's saying is like it. You could already see the beginnings of like here's these interesting group of kids that I'm almost equally invested in, but you guys keep focusing on Jason, the Red Ranger,
Just like Naruto.
Tommy, the White, like
Just like
Team
Naruto.
Seven,
Yeah, right.
the
Only Team Seven, right?
Saiyans. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
no one else is. But I find these people is equally interesting. So why can't we do more with them? I think, like I said before we started recording, I think this movie helped Digimon in that moment, but hurt the overall series as far as like formulas of like, oh, we just have to focus on these things. It's like that was cool then, but if Omnimon comes out every single time y'all go back to the storyline, it loses something.
Hmm.
Like something kind of the sparkle kind of gets lost a little bit. It just you whip him out for everything. He's in Digimon Try. He's in that the last Kazuna. He's in that CGI spinoff they had. Like Omnimon. It's like, all right, I don't care anymore. You've used Exodia every single duel at this point. Like
Yeah, Exodia Necros, Exodia Miami,
yeah.
Exodia
one
New
thing.
York.
One thing I didn't like because they kind of like retconned this when they went to the third Digidash and the ones with the cards. Like, all right, so when they got the golden Digi eggs, Vmon turns to
Magnamon.
Magnamon,
Mm-hmm.
and this other one turns to
Rapidmon.
Rapidmon. But then you realize Rapidmon has a regular form that isn't gold. So you kind of like took away what was so special about this.
To some degree, yeah.
So I
To
mean, I
some
get it,
degree.
man. I get it, man. Because sometimes maybe they don't really think that far ahead. But then my thing about it was that really did bother me. I was like, but why are you not gold?
But also, it's like, did you really want to waste such a fire character design at the same time? Because I didn't mind seeing him again, personally. Like, when he pulled his hands back and you see the little rabbit bombs and it just... it's like, whoa. Amazing.
But
Sensational.
but question. But then technically, the second Digimon movie is not really canon when you really look at it, because remember in the series, Davis finds the egg somewhere else and turns the Magnamon.
So it takes place after they beat Ken when he's the Digimon master. So if you
Oh,
remember that, that's when he originally found the golden Digi-Egg. Magnamon defeats Chimeramon, if I remember correctly. And that's when you see Magnamon, all that stuff like that. So in the movie, the reason why Davis knows what to do with the egg is because they had just beat the Digimon master, and he knew how to use the golden armor Digi-Egg.
okay.
The part that doesn't make sense is, again, how did Gatomon and Patamon know how to make it? That was the thing. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Let's go to our mega forms that we've never shown prior to this movie, never shown on screen before. And rather than beating him ourselves as two vaccines, we're going to make the golden armor Digi-Eggs and then get one-shotted. Because for as kind of wonky as Gatomon's mega form is, Seraphimon? You thought Magna Angemon looked fire. This man is just in.
Yo, Elden Ring format, bro.
Right.
I'm about to drop my 32 golden arrows from the sky.
Right. How could this get better? But here we are. Yeah, I think this movie it doesn't do any favors to the second generation. I think that's something we started to see of, like, there was obvious priority given to the first generation of kids, to the point where it's like a lot of it still just relied, to what you said, Tim, like it relied on the first generation having some type of influence to help the next generation of kids. So while it was cool to see Flame Dramon, he's getting lumped and bumped and bruised every single time he fought Pokemon. It was one-sided every single time. At no point did they have the advantage. So it kind of starts to take away, like, again, for me personally, and everyone has their different ways of appreciating fighting. When you're seeing like this dance of, like, I'm not sure who's going to win. Like when you see War Greymon and Megagrumon fighting a Duoboromon, or even when they're fighting him as Inframon, it's just like there's this power balance kind of going back and forth of, like, I know what they can do, but I don't know what he can do. So they're keeping up, but are they? Versus, when you see the armor, it's like, yo, Flandramon is getting hooked right now. He cannot catch a W at all. And then when they have the rematch and he turns to Lopemon or whatever, like, he sent Digimon into the side of a cliff. Halsamon getting clipped. I'm just like, well, roll the credits. This is Broly all over again. So I guess overall, what were you guys' thoughts on the villains, right? I guess we can't really count Parrotmon as a villain, but what do you guys think about the evolution line of Dioboromon and then I guess Kokomon?
They kind of remind me of Janimba. Like they're just like a manifestation.
Yeah,
They're just a
yeah.
manifestation. Nothing really, truly. What is the greater goal of this? Like, no, it is just a manifestation of
Which
malice,
works.
Mm-hmm.
which works. Yeah,
Which
like how you
works.
said, it works from time to time. Even when Diablo, when he was going through the stages, like next thing you know, he's like this little spiny head spider, and then next thing you know, and then even for the fact where what he turns to after Diaboromon, it's just like, bro. Sometimes when them
Yeah.
Digimon names be coming out, you gotta lower the TV volume. It's like the parents gonna hit out. I'm like,
Armageddon.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
Oh man. Yeah,
This
yeah,
eldritch
yeah.
spider in the ocean. Hey, ho, 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 hey, ho.
Myotis, man. No,
Right.
that's not what they said,
Right.
Mom.
The beast. And the beast shall rise. Oh,
yeah,
hey.
I was
Oh.
like, and especially when a certain character came from the third kids, I was like,
Oh, yeah. Mm.
yeah.
Yeah.
But no, but
Which
yeah,
which 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 one was that?
Beelzebub.
Yeah.
Oh, oh,
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
yeah.
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 So I mean, it was interesting, man. It was very very interesting. Even the second one, like Wendigo Mon,
Mm.
like that was just like you could tell when it comes down to these names, bro. There's a lot of heavy mythology
Yes.
influences because
Mm.
bro, they milking the Digimon Sovereign to this day. oh, the vermilion bird, the tortoise snake, the white
Yup.
tiger, the azure dragon.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
is almost everywhere. But then I like the fact, like, you know, that Leonardo DiCaprio meme. I was like, that's Digimon Sovereign.
Yep. Every single time. Any type of little monster design. Hey, the
Yeah,
OGs did it first.
because like, yeah, even like from mythology, especially towards like when everything like Digimon when it's talking like holy something,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like
Absolutely.
like I was like, where did they get these names from? And it's like when you type it out, I was like, oh,
They put a lot of thought into those names.
Seraph. I was like, Sir, oh,
Right. And
Seraphim.
Seraphim with the six wings. I'm like, they cook.
yeah. I mean, yeah, man. And then there was a particular one that was icing on the cake, and then it was it starts with an L. I was like,
What a.
Lucemon?
Oh,
I was like.
Yeah.
And then
yeah.
you know what the crazy thing about it was is how correct his design was because a lot of people,
Super androgynous.
like
I couldn't tell what he was.
because when you really know his biblical name,
Mm-hmm.
so I think it deals with something light, and then it's like, but that's what he is. I was like, oh
Yeah. Digimon was heavy, yo. It's like if you wanted a real story, like Pokemon, it's like, you get your little bowl of cereal, little snack, you put your Pop Tart in the toaster, watch Ash,
But
cheat out a win,
the
plow armor his way
undertones
to
were,
a win. But when you wanted
yeah.
that real, something that stuck with you, you're the little Digi, you're like, I don't know what to expect. Leomon just died last episode, so I don't know what's gonna happen.
Man. And I'm like, okay, like just the undertones, like the internet could destroy you. Like
Mm-hmm.
you feel me? It's just
Or what you put out there can never be deleted.
what you put out there could never be deleted, and
Mm-hmm.
it's man, how dangerous a virus could be. Like, yo, I'm gonna launch this nuke on you, and I'm gonna blame it on this country.
Yeah.
And that's it, man. No, but man, what a delight, man. What a unasked for gift.
Yeah. Because it didn't have to be this good when you think about it.
It didn't have to be this
For
good,
its
but
target audience.
that was the natural thing to do back in those days. What
Mm-hmm.
do you mean give a subpar movie? No, I'm doing overtime.
I'm gonna give it top tier animation, top tier character design. We got the most cinematic angles you've ever seen before in your life.
With hand drawn. You have to draw those things slower.
Yeah.
When you draw, like it think about it, you gotta draw a Kyrie at 30 frames on the same sheet of paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Moving and then trying to avoid the debris that's falling at almost at a slower speed than Agumon. Douche, douche. Greymon. Like, oh man, that was something. You're watching a master at work.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to say it.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
I can actually teach a kid. That could be a study subject. Hey, watch these frames and these animations.
No, you're not
You can
it
teach a
sounds
course
over the
on that.
top, but you're not lying. Like
No,
it's art. It is
it
art.
is. It is
It's
art, and then
it's just done in a way where you're just like, I didn't expect to take all these things in, especially as a kid. But you're just like, I can appreciate them and then go back to them as an adult and appreciate
and they
them
use
even
and they
more.
effectively use CGI.
Yes. Yep.
Effectively use CGI.
Mm-hmm.
What
Where it
more
made
do you want,
sense.
man?
Yeah,
Where it
yeah,
made
yeah, yeah.
sense.
Concepts you didn't expect of, like, I didn't even know they could get stopped mid Digivolution. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought once that Digivice shook, it was over. And everyone was like, no. You're still loading. You're still buffering. Watch this.
Man.
Yeah. Use of the characters?
I gave it a 6.
Really? Okay.
I gave it a 6. Like I said, man, the big two. Once it's just the big two, everybody else is just kind of like background noise, and I don't like that. I don't like that. It kind of because bro, it always reminds me of the Tree of Might movie. It always does.
Mm.
It's like here you got all these, especially when you watch it from Dragon Ball, these S tier characters, and you just see them just get sidelined like that.
Mm-hmm.
It mean
Mm-hmm.
nothing.
Because especially like when they all found their crests, that's why I kind of felt like, all right, everybody's about to get a level up. Here come the Dark Masters. Nope. It just
Yeah.
goes back to just Matt and Ty. It's
Mm-hmm.
just like, so you mean to tell me with all these people, everybody else just gonna stop at this level? And then even when Piedmon was defeated, like the one that they had to fight after that, it's like, so yeah, all right, everybody's about
This
to
will be
go
the
to
time. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
I
they
was
don't.
like,
Who was the last Dark Master?
Apocalypse, the one that
yeah.
sits there with the 4 chains and crushes their crests and Fox Kids deletes them, sends them to the graveyard, the digital graveyard.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, bro. It was just like, and that's why I really just don't like. I don't like that trend. I don't like the big like you differentiate characters from everybody else because I kind of just feel like then what's the purpose of putting these characters in? What is the purpose of them giving them stories, giving them arcs where their character expands just for you to just say never mind? Stay, like
Yeah.
Bakugo says, quiet extras.
Jeez.
I feel like they
Man, I
tried
ain't
to
got no
correct it a
filter.
little bit later because, like you said, Tim, like there was technically a sequel to this, but at that point, Digimon was owned by Disney. A lot of it kind of got redubbed, and it gets a little weird. Like I really like Diobormon's
Wait,
like
Disney
secondary
had their hands on Digimon?
after this. Once Fox lost the rights, Disney was the one that was airing Digimon, bro.
Oh no.
Yeah, so
No.
hence why it kind of fell from grace in America. Yeah. But like in that movie, it's like there's a lot more involvement from everybody. TK and Kyrie have a very hands-on thing with initially stopping Dio Bormon while he's still in the internet, and then of course, obviously, when he escapes, there's this whole thing. But
The B team, big
yeah,
two.
yeah. So, but you're right.
Like
It still ended up being a Matt and Ty movie, and then it became a Davis and
it's
Ken
like
movie.
Dom and Paul Walker, and then the B team big two is Ludacris and Tyrese.
Yeah. That's that. That's not a bad comparison at all, honestly.
And then they go into space in a Honda.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then we turn into Digimon, and and the jig was
A
in the
and B
sky.
team.
the jig was
It's
officially up.
not fair, man. It's not fair.
No, I agree. I think that's a
Because you
fair.
know what even makes it worse? Back in the day when you Googled what is Tentomon's mega form?
Nothing.
No, it is something fire. Most of the
Wow.
original Digidestin mega forms were A1 design. You're just like, I can't wait to see that in the anime.
That's why I'm so upset, bro. Like, I want to see this.
Yeah.
I want to see this.
Yeah.
Like even like I like Joe's Digimon's mega form, and I'm just like,
Yep. A Walrus Viking? Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
and as Joy would say, and this goes nowhere.
Nowhere.
Yep. Well, you remember they tried to introduce it in Try. Remember Digimon movie Try, where everyone looked exactly the same? And
No.
yeah, I know.
Nah, bro. And then it's just, but then what even makes me more upset is, so after the second set of kids, all the other seasons after that, everybody just goes full all the way.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, you get a megaform, you get a megaform. It's like so you just, but then the first two set of kids were the best.
Yeah.
So you didn't finish the job with them, but then these other kids.
Bro, in the fourth season, they all fuse. They hit the mega fusion.
It's like, bro, what is going on here? Like,
Yeah.
I can see why you don't like Frontier. All right.
Yeah. It's. But Jory, what do you think about the use of the characters in this film?
No, I agree, but at that time I wasn't too keen on like you kind of just accepted it. Yeah, this is it. Okay, do move the plot a little bit. Go ahead and move that curtain, and go ahead
Mm-hmm.
and open the blind. Go get me a glass of water. I let Agumon and Garurumon and handle it, man.
Mm-hmm.
So you kind of like subconsciously know that's what's gonna happen because you see that all over. That's all we got during the '90s. Of course, the older I got now that was in a good use. So I'm with Tim on this one, 6, man.
Okay.
Because I once I saw like their second evolution, I wanted more. The only one that got me that I was disappointed was Kabuterimon. Like his megaform, he just turned red, a red beetle. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
but then
That's
he
Like,
his
turns into
ultimate.
his ultimate form. His mega form is a golden Hercules beetle.
oh,
It looks
that's different.
fire. I'm telling you, it
That's
looks
different. Okay, that's
incredible.
different. Oh, that's
Goes
different.
nowhere.
Wow.
Nowhere.
And so what about the Viking? Does he get another hammer?
Yeah, he's it's not a hammer. It's like it's two maces, pretty much two spiked
Mm,
maces.
wow. And I think that's one of my favorite Digimon's design because I feel like his Digimon was like a inspired by like a sea lion,
Yeah, it was like almost like a
Yeah.
walrus.
like a walrus sea lion. But
Yeah.
I liked the Digimon's personality, man. I felt that he was like, and yeah, just wasn't a good use of the characters, man. Because a lot of them they have very winning attributes about them that you're like, yo, these Digimon are gonna help these kids become better people.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They have
The
such
crest. The
positive,
crest.
they had such positive
Courage.
traits about them, man.
Courage. Friendship. Hope. Light. Reliability. Knowledge.
Yeah. Love,
Responsibility.
sincerity.
Love.
Hmm.
And I'm like, man, these Digimon got like distinct characteristics about them that you're like, man, how could you not become better?
Hmm.
And I think something like that, to put that much thought into it and you don't do anything with it, yeah, that's a 6, man.
Okay. I
It's not horrible
Like,
because
for
on paper
example,
it's
bro,
great, but you don't utilize it.
Mimi is like, I expected so much character growth from her, and she's just there.
but I feel like in the movie that fit her personality to a
You know,
T.
she's just there.
She has a voice answering machine so long that you can't actually leave a message. I sent you a postcard from Hawaii, and she didn't mean it. And I'm wishing you were here. No, I don't. Like, I just felt like the slice of life stuff to me. Like, I'm with you guys. I do think it would have been nice to have seen them be more directly involved. But I feel like what they were doing made sense for their characters to me. Like, it didn't feel like you say a lot, Tim, with the '90s Dragon Ball movies. Like, where is this person? Like, especially once you get past like the Broly, like, where is Piccolo? Why is Piccolo not shown up? This is like not in his character to not be here whatsoever. At least it's like I can say, like, well, I know Joe was taking a test. I know Mimi was on vacation. I know that Sora was sitting in her room being mad. Like, I know what they were doing, but I do agree that I'm like seeing, especially with hindsight being 2020, of like this is all we're going to get for decades before they try to retcon stuff. One more go around would have been nice, because especially as a kid, you're like, oh, might be where we see their mega forms, because they're on the cover of the film of like, oh, everyone's going in this movie. Oh, nope, just the two.
Oh, another Janimba lie.
Yeah. The objects on this might not reflect the final material. That's what you kind of got.
Basically, like the Hulk in Infinity War, that last image where they're all running.
Yeah.
I was like, wait,
And
what?
then nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be
I mean,
found.
you got the Hulk Buster.
Right. The Buster part was
That's not the
silent.
same. Yeah, that's not the
We
same,
got
right?
the
Right.
whole
So
Buster running with the.
and then right, okay, he'll be back Endgame, right?
He'll be back, all right. All right. Final thing is, what would you guys give this movie out of 10? The whole collective movie, I should say.
It's a nine package for me.
Yeah,
It's a
nine,
nine.
bro.
It's a nine package. It is a cult classic, bro. It is
Hmm.
a very prestigious piece of history.
Because
Okay.
after that, Pokemon didn't even scratch the strat. They tried good on two movies, and that was it. And ain't go nowhere.
Yeah, and their best effort, if we're being real, was their first one, and it wasn't the
That's it.
greatest.
That's it.
Everything else was phoned
Lugia.
in. Lugia was cool.
No, Pokemon 2000. They tried to present that thing like it was Fantasia from Disney, man. Lugia, like you've never seen. I'm like, I'm a kid and I was furious because Fantasia betrayed me. I ain't signed up for no musical, guys. I wanted to see Mickey Mouse, man.
I
I wanted
mean,
to see some anime. Yeah,
he's
no,
there.
no, no. That light magic Mickey with the whale, holographic whale. No, bro,
Dun,
I
dun, dun,
was
dun, dun,
upset.
dun.
And yeah, like, man. That Pokemon 2000 the movie is not good either.
We're gonna talk about it. I think this is a good series. We're gonna talk about some of
Entei,
these '90s staples, so to speak, and where they kind of how they've aged and not aged.
I was
Um,
flipping tables to watch that movie.
yeah,
Only to go back and say, let me watch Digimon again, the
again,
movie.
right? Super
They don't
Growlithe, Ice Dog, an Electric Bow Wow. No, 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 no. Let me cut. Let me cut.
cloned,
Yeah,
cloned
let me
Growlithe.
cut on the reel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Digimon movie is like a 9.5 out of 10 for me. Like I think what you guys said about the characters, it's true. It's true. They could have used the Digi a little bit more effectively, but it ages like wine. I mean, again, it's like Fusion Reborn. It's like when you do the animation right, you can't lose. It doesn't matter how old it gets. You did it right the first time. There's no like, ooh, that CGI look. Ugh. Nope.
No,
There's no.
no.
It's
And they
all,
used
and they
CGI,
use
which is
CGI.
known to be dated. But you're
And it
watching it,
is
you're like,
pristine. It's James Cameron Terminator 2 levels of competent.
right? It's that rose bouquet scene. Like, oh, Terminator's back. Goodbye, roll credits. Turns out the shotguns, the stakes just keep getting high. Say, yo, Connor, you're a goner.
Yeah.
You feel- but it turned out not to be, man. What a
Mm,
subversion of expectations, man.
right. Remember those in movies? Remember not following a formula when they wanted to do something and it was actually innovative? Crazy,
Mhm.
crazy concept. But yeah, that's essentially that's Digimon the movie. I mean, I kind of knew where you guys sat. I didn't know if you guys were going to hold it as in as high regard as I did. So I was like, oh, maybe there's going to be some pushback. But I think we all are
No,
kind of in agreement of like, it's
even
solid anime
even movie
cinema.
even movie two, man. If you watch it now, there's like very somber. It's a sad. It's a pretty sad movie.
Hmm.
But when it ends, when it picks up speed, man, I did everything I could to get that toy. Everything I could to get the golden Vmon.
Hmm.
Everything in my power. We went to Toys R Us. We saw it in the magazines. Sold out. Yeah, I got beat by 100 other kids.
And it's
That's
understandable,
how that's
right?
how
Like,
serious it
yeah, I
was,
was
bro.
like in hindsight, you're like,
Y'all
it
think it was
makes
a game?
all the sense
Y'all
in the
think it
world.
was not a game, man. Yo,
Mm.
you
No,
you didn't come
honestly,
at this.
those collectibles when those movies used to come out, bro. Like, cause remember they were everywhere. Oh, if you go to McDonald's and you ask for this, you get
You get
that.
the golden Pokeball or the Mew statue or this, or if you're the first 100 at this theater, you'll get a special movie card with a special
They
stamp on it.
they was injecting consumerism in our veins from then.
And I was just like,
Oh, I
you can
mean,
get
did
both
you
arms
see
at
what we
once.
was getting? Did you?
And then
I mean, you buy a cereal box, you get a Jedi spoon.
Right.
Who's gonna stop me? Who?
Yeah. You can hit
You're not
both
gonna
veins at
stop me
once.
from
I'm
getting.
ready.
You're not gonna stop me from getting Obi-Wan lightsaber spoon,
and
Mom. I'm sorry.
back then you had no job.
Right. I was happy to do chores. Let me please.
No
I'll do
job,
anything for
bro.
the $10.
Oh man.
I need this Digivice, Mom. I
Wait,
need
what's up?
You
it.
need your
You mean to tell me
you need your grass cut this weekend.
Right. I'll cut the whole block myself. I need
you
it.
go to school? You go to school the other day, kid. The kid bring a Happy Meal in front of school because his mom brings him lunch, and you see him unravel the Vegeta in front of you, the silver statue.
Yep.
And you just know that, yo, you know what? I feel like this is the rest. This is who I'm gonna be for the rest of my life. I'll never be able to experience that. Happy
I
Meals.
can't recreate this moment
Rice
ever
and
again.
peas. Rice and peas for me, man. Yo,
Yeah.
man. What?
Yeah, it was a time, man. There's certain things that you, again, we talk about it all the time of like you don't know that you're taking it for granted because it's all you know. And then you get older and you're like, what a time, yo. What? If I could go back in the time machine and shake my younger self, like, do not give
Did
any
you
of this away.
did you know back in my day there was a place to where you can play with toys? Play with toys. Every toy you can imagine.
Yep.
For boys, for girls. You wanted a toy car? You wanted an RC? You wanted summer's coming on, a new super soaker drop. This time with recharge with the a water jug with you. Oh man, and summer's about to hit. Then you got the footballs that go an extra mile because they put a tail at the end of it. And those advertisements, them Hot Wheels racetracks. Oh,
Yeah. It was a time, man. It was a time. It's
don't even want to get us started on my Bionicle era, dog. Bro, it was a wrap for me. The first Metro Nui. Oh
mm,
man.
But you know what I think, to wrap it back to Digimon, I think was when the third season came out, and remember they were centered around cards. That's when they really wanted to level up like their collectibles, like the Digimon cards.
yeah.
Cause, but then, bro, that market was such cluttered back then because you had Pokemon cards, you had Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and then
They
it's
were
like,
too late to
oh,
the party at that point.
yeah, yeah,
Too late to the
yeah.
party.
Yeah. It didn't matter.
Like
Because
even though yes, the third season was very good. I enjoyed that one. Like I felt like that was it kind of felt like the Hoenn of the Digimon. Like it wasn't like the first two because they were connected, but it was good enough. And
yeah,
then
and
just to see
when you
them use
explain it outside
cards,
of a
like oh
bubble, yeah, you're just like, yeah. So in this one, they can modify the Digimon and give them wings, and at some point they fuse with them, and like you try to explain to someone who's trying to get back into it, and you're like, I think I'm good, but like no,
Yeah,
like what
it's
this
too.
writing is
It's
great.
too,
It's like
no, yeah. His
no,
writing
I
is too
think
much.
I'm. It's like
It's
when you
too
see
much.
Yu-Gi-Oh, it's like yeah, so they duel on motorcycles. You're like, you know what?
Yu-Gi-Oh 5D
I think I'm good.
at the speed of light.
yeah,
I'm gonna go ahead and pass this intersection and
yeah,
summon
right.
Exodia on top of your head, and you might
no,
actually die.
no, I'm sorry. Once Yu-Gi-Oh defeated all the Egyptian god cards himself, like when he had to fight himself, that was it for me. I was
Yeah,
like, I don't need
Nah,
to see no more.
the
I don't need to see no
seal
more.
of Rolokus.
or Recalcos. Yeah.
Oh, Calcos, yeah.
Yeah, it was hard to go like
Sephiroth
this.
Yu-Gi-Oh?
Yeah,
Nah. Once
Yu-Gi-Oh
I saw that,
School just didn't have the same oomph to it.
and guess what his name is? Jaden Yugi. Not
yeah,
related, of course.
right.
But yeah, good
Yeah. So
times.
good times. Again, the movie on Blu-ray is out. I was shocked to know that you could not get this movie in a higher quality for up until this day. I thought that like, oh, they're doing like a remaster. Like, no, they're doing a remaster because there wasn't a Blu-ray at all. You could only get the DVD from like 20 years ago for like $70. So
Jeez.
now, again, you can own the movie. This is not an ad. Although, hey, if y'all want to reach out discotheque, I will gladly shout y'all out. Yeah, but you can check out the Digimon movie. Again, the first two seasons are goated. This is a goated children's anime movie. And yeah, as y'all know, it's clearly a cosign across the board from the Press Start Select podcast. So until the next Anime Corner, I am Antonius the Gamer, Mikkel Smith, Super SSS rank. And until next time, y'all. Peace.
Take care.